The morning sun slipped through thin curtains, splashing golden light on the floor where little Amira sat cross-legged, holding a small cupcake with a single candle. 8 years old today, yet her wish wasn't for toys, games, or even cake. It was for something far bigger and impossible. "I wish Dad could see me now," she whispered, closing her eyes tightly. The candle flickered in the quiet room. Her father, Rayhan, had been gone for 3 years, lost to an accident that no one could explain to a child without breaking her heart. Her mother, Lena, did everything she could. 2 jobs, late nights, soft lullabies even when her voice cracked with exhaustion. But there were moments she couldn't fill, like today. Lena tried to make it special anyway. She decorated the tiny apartment with crepe paper, picked up a second-hand doll Amira had been dreaming about, and even borrowed a neighbor's oven to bake a cake. But as she brought it out with a shaky smile, she saw her daughter's eyes drift to the empty chair at the table. "You okay, honey?" Lena asked softly. Amira nodded, though her voice wavered. "Mom, do you think Dad knows it's my birthday in heaven?" The question hit Lena harder than any sleepless night or overdue bill. She didn't have an answer, not one that would satisfy an 8-year-old whose world was still half magic and half heartbreak. Later that afternoon, there was another knock at the door. This one wasn't from family, there wasn't any nearby. It was from Armin, a quiet neighbor Lena barely knew. He held a small potted plant, awkwardly shifting from foot to foot. "I heard it's her birthday," he said gently. "I thought she might like this. It's a wish plant. My mom used to say if you tell it your dream every morning, it grows stronger, just like your dream." Amira's face lit up. She grabbed the plant like it was treasure, running to set it by the window. "Can I tell it about Dad?" she asked, her voice small. "Of course," Armin said, his smile warm. "Plants are good listeners." What Armin didn't say was that he knew what she was feeling. He'd lost his sister when he was young. He remembered birthdays that felt half empty, and how a simple gesture from a stranger once reminded him that people do care, even when they don't have to. That night, as candles burned low and the city outside blurred into quiet streets, Amira leaned against her mother and whispered, "Mom, I think the plant heard me. I think Dad did too." Lena kissed her forehead, fighting tears she wouldn't let fall in front of her daughter. But this was just the beginning, because the kindness of one neighbor would ripple further than any of them imagined. And soon, Amira would get a birthday gift no one thought possible. Over the next few weeks, Amira treated the little wish plant like a secret friend. Every morning before school, she whispered her dream into its leaves. "I wish Dad could see me now. I wish he knew I'm 8. I wish he knew I miss him." Armin stopped by sometimes to check on the plant. He'd bring small things, colorful stones to put in the pot, or stories about how his own dad used to encourage him to never stop believing in miracles. It wasn't much, but to Amira it was everything. One day, Lena came home to find envelopes on the table. Not bills for once, but cards. Birthday cards. Dozens of them. Some were from neighbors they barely knew, others from strangers across the city. Armin had quietly told Amira's story online, not to ask for money, but to ask for kindness. And people answered. But there was one letter that stood out, delivered by hand. A man named Samir, who had served with Rayhan in the army years ago, had driven 3 hours just to meet Amira. He told her stories about her dad. How brave he was, how proud he always was of his little girl. "He used to carry your photo in his pocket," Samir said softly. "Everywhere we went. He'd show it off to anyone who'd listen." Amira's eyes shone. "Really? Really?" Samir said. "And I think if he could see you now, he'd say the same thing he always did. That's my girl." As Lena watched, she realized something. Her daughter's wish wasn't just to see her father. It was to know she was still connected to him, still loved by him, even if he wasn't there. The next morning, when Amira whispered to her wish plant, she didn't say, "I wish Dad could see me now." She said, "I know Dad can see me now. Thank you for letting me feel it." That evening, as golden light filled the little apartment, Lena hugged Armin at the door. "You didn't just give her a plant," she said, voice trembling. "You gave her back her dad." Armin smiled. No, I just reminded her he never left. And as Amira skipped through the living room, clutching her doll in one hand and gently watering her wish plant with the other, Lena knew something had changed. The sadness would never fully leave, but it had bloomed into something softer, stronger, a reminder that even in loss, love takes root. Because sometimes, all it takes is one act of kindness to show a child that the people they love are never really gone. They live on in stories, in memories, and in the hearts of those who care.